Hey, what's up everyone? I hope you're all doing well. Today I want to talk about this new crime thriller from director Tomas Alfredson called The Snowman, starring Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson. This film centers on a skilled detective named Harry Hole, played by Fassbender. He's very good at his job, but not so much at life. He's an alcoholic. He's pretty much at rock bottom when he begins working a missing persons case that soon connects him to a bunch of other cold cases and a mysterious killer that leaves a snowman as his calling card. Now, I will admit that premise alone had me pretty curious about this movie. I love crime thrillers, I love serial killer films, and when done right, they can be one of my favorite genres. Alfredson was in the director's chair, and I really like what he put together with Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, so I was interested to see what he could do with this type of film. You add Michael Fassbender and Rebecca Ferguson, and the potential for me at least was up a bit. I do think Fassbender has been on a dry spell. His teary-eyed routine as Magneto is getting a little stale to me. He also didn't have the best of luck with Assassin's Creed or The Light Between the Oceans either, but I really don't think it was his performances that were what hindered those movies from being good. So with a strong premise, a capable director, and a couple strong leads, I was actually expecting this to be a solid murder mystery, but that really couldn't have been further from the case, as this was just one beautifully shot mess, to be honest with you. So let's get into the few positives that this film had before diving into all the things that I thought this film was lacking. First and foremost, I think the direction and cinematography were fantastic. There was a lot of visual appeal in this movie. I think the settings of Norway were perfectly captured to really show the natural beauty of the region. I think the remoteness of the story setting and the frigid climates really do come through on screen perfectly to build a cold, ominous setting for the story, because I don't know if it was the film itself or my $8 icy, but when the film kicked off and set the tone, I got a little chilly. Throughout the film, there are several wide aerial shots that really do build an effective setting for the story that can pull you into it, and it was clear the filmmakers knew that, because as this movie progresses and the story all but falls apart, the movie really works better as a National Geographic or a Condé Nast Traveler video. So I guess you could say as the film progresses, there's always some nice scenery to look at. I also thought the opening of the film was excellently done. It grabbed my attention and developed an intriguing backdrop to the possible serial killer when he was younger. The sequence was very well orchestrated as it progresses out onto a frozen lake, and it really builds an impactful start to what I thought was going to be a captivating movie. But almost immediately after the title sequence, the film takes one big dump, and it all began to go downhill for me, specifically during a scene that was a glaring red flag of things to come. We are introduced to the character of Harry Hole. Interesting name aside, he's a detective. He's completely off the wagon. He's passing out all over town. He has a meeting with his boss to talk about his behavior, and he pleads that he needs a case to work on. The scene cuts, he walks into his office, there's already an envelope on his desk with a note from the serial killer in it. It's super convenient. The way it was all edited together was just a warning sign of issues to come, but I had no idea the film would really collapse as bad as it did. From there, the film trudges through this case in the most uninteresting way, with characters that generate no interest because they have really no backdrop or development at all. Now, I did a little research and I found that this was the 7th book from Jo Nesbø's series following Harry Hole. Yes, the Snowman story is book 7 in a series that has more than that, and so with that information, it was really just shocking to me that this version of Harry with Fassbender playing him came off as just a flat cardboard character with nothing to connect you with him and nothing more than really generic motivation. It was basically the same problem with Rebecca Ferguson, no substance to resonate her character with the viewer. Both her and Fassbender do give some mild effort, but neither was able to elevate the material at all, and neither really showed any energy, and it just came off as boring and very unengaging. This movie also introduces some story angles, gives them some lengthy screen time, and then completely abandons them. J.K. Simmons is in this film, but I have no idea what his purpose was other than giving some purpose to Ferguson's character. Simmons was solid in this performance, but what film was he in? Where did his angle in the story really belong? We're never really told, nor is the story arc ever developed. All the while this is happening, there is a snowman making serial killer out there that is all but forgotten more than a few times in his own movie. We also have Val Kilmer, another character with a handful of awkward scenes but no real purpose other than to connect some of the plot to Harry, and then he disappears as well. Now, I know Kilmer has had some serious health issues and I wish him the best in his recoveries, but his performance in this film was very, very odd. Not so much really because of him personally, but because of the dubbing of another voice over his that was just not well done at all. It was lazy ADR work, and he could have either, I don't know, they could have recast someone else or just shot the scenes differently to not make it such a distraction, or to actually have shown some more effort in the post-production work. The story is very fragmented, it lacks a lot of cohesion, it just didn't grab me at all. There are large holes in the plot and not nearly enough of the Snowman killer, and without going into spoilers, I don't feel that the killer was utilized or developed well in this film at all. Good crime thrillers are supposed to weave compelling cases with characters you can invest in and root for as they try to bring down a deranged killer of whatever type. They build tension and mild misdirection as they progress, and this film did none of that. It was a slow burning mystery that I guess really just fizzles out like a firecracker that's a dud. You light it, it sparks up, you get immediately excited when the fuse lights, and then it burns down into the firecracker. And nothing. No satisfying payoff. That's pretty much what The Snowman was to me. A film that starts out very good, then after the title rolls off the screen, it progressively gets less interesting to the point of just being boring. Because the case doesn't have an intriguing development to it, it's formulaic as the clues are unraveled, and you can honestly spot the killer from a mile away when you're not even sure if the killer is in the main cluster of characters or not. So overall, I say The Snowman was a swing and a miss. I'm going to give it 50% on the entertainment meter. The cinematography was great. There's a handful of awesome shots that are very well done. And as a kid who grew up in the Pacific Northwest that has made a snowman or two in his day, I will say that the crew that made these, they did alright. Nice form, traditional style, it's a little lazy without the third ball, but I get it, it's a serial killer that has to make a snowman, so the express model is needed, but there was just such a lack of cohesion and focus in the storyline that it just doesn't even come close to blending into a good movie. And that's my review of The Snowman, guys. I wish I had better news for you, but this one just didn't deliver. Hope you enjoyed the review anyways. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you can catch all the new reviews. You can find me on Twitter at YourCinemaGuy or swing by SilverScreenAnalysis.com. There's tons of reviews over there. As always, thank you so much for watching, guys. I definitely appreciate it. I'm Anthony. This is the Silver Screen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.